They said the brakes failed on the rainy highway just outside Millersburg, that the wet asphalt and faulty tires spelled out the tragedy in cold mechanical terms. But Eva Callahan knew better. She'd known from the moment she saw the shattered windshield, the way the car had veered off the cliff with surgical precision, like someone had guided it there. Her husband, Pastor Jonathan Callahan, a man known for standing tall behind a pulpit, but digging deeper behind closed doors, was gone. And they wanted her to believe God took him. But Eva knew it wasn't divine timing. It was murder. Detective Malcolm Rios was the one they assigned to close the case. Just a formality, the department said. Wrap it up, file it under accidental, and move on. He shook her hand like he'd already read the last page of the story. But Malcolm underestimated the quiet fury of a grieving widow with faith stronger than steel and a truth that wouldn't let her sleep. The third character, Leah Warren, never spoke at the funeral. Her mascara never ran. Her hands never trembled. She sat in the third pew, not the first, and avoided Eva's gaze the way liars avoid the mirror. Leah was the church secretary. Blonde, polished, loyal, and efficient. Too efficient. Eva remembered how Leah knew the insurance paperwork had been signed just 2 weeks before Jonathan died. And she remembered Jonathan's late-night phone call 2 nights before the crash. There's something I need to tell you, Eva. But not over the phone. I made a mistake. I trusted the wrong person. They'd been married for 16 years. She knew his tone. That wasn't guilt. That was fear. Everyone told Eva to rest, to heal, to trust the process. But her spirit wouldn't let her rest. Faith, she realized, wasn't just for Sunday mornings. It was for lonely nights with an empty side of the bed and unanswered questions. So she started looking, quietly, methodically, prayerfully. She found a receipt in his wallet for a storage unit 3 towns over. The key was taped behind their wedding photo.
No one knew about that.
Not even her. Inside the unit was a metal box. In it, documents, names, account numbers, ledgers in Jonathan's handwriting, dates, payments. All connected to the church. And a burner phone. On it, voicemails from Leah. Soft, seductive. Then urgent. You weren't supposed to say anything. They're watching now. If you breathe a word, you know what happens next. Eva's hand trembled as she clutched the phone. The world tilted. Her husband had been having an affair. But that wasn't the twist. The twist was this. He was trying to stop it. Trying to expose her. Detective Rios didn't believe her at first. No signs of foul play. No history of threats. No motive, at least not one strong enough to stage a murder. Until Eva showed him the transfer, $250,000 moved from the church building fund to a shell company under Leah's name 2 days before the crash. Signed by Jonathan. But it wasn't his signature. Rios reopened the case. Quietly. Leah was called in for questioning. She laughed.
Mocked.
You're going to take the word of a grieving widow over an official investigation? She asked, smiling that perfect, hollow smile. But her eyes betrayed her. Then the lab confirmed it. The brake line had been cut. Precisely. Cleanly. Professional. And there were no prints. Justice, Eva thought, was finally on its way. But then something shifted. Detective Rios didn't call for days. When he finally did, his voice was tight. I'm being pulled off the case, he said. Orders from above. The files being sealed. Classified. National interest, they said. National interest? Eva repeated, feeling her blood chill. He hesitated. There's something bigger going on. Jonathan had been in contact with someone from D.C. There's mention of a federal investigation into clergy-led embezzlement rings. He was trying to whistleblow. Eva's knees buckled. He'd tried to save more than just himself. 2 days later, someone broke into the storage unit. Everything was gone. The box, the phone, the papers. Erased. Eva went to the church that Sunday, wearing her husband's old cross around her neck. Leah stood at the front now, not in the shadows. They'd made her interim pastor. A standing ovation followed her sermon about healing, forgiveness, and moving forward. Eva watched in stunned silence. The same people who had cried at Jonathan's funeral were now praising the woman who destroyed him. As the crowd dispersed, Leah approached her. "You should let go, Eva," she said, softly, like venom under velvet. "For your own sake. He's gone. Don't let your grief turn to madness." Eva didn't blink. "I forgive you," she whispered. "But I'm not finished." Leah's smile faltered. Later that night, Eva returned home to find an envelope under her door. Inside was a flash drive. No note, just a single file. She plugged it into her laptop. A video. Jonathan, filmed in secret, speaking into the camera with urgency. "If you're seeing this, something went wrong. Leah, she's not working alone. There's someone higher. Someone with power. I don't know how far it goes, but the church, it's just the beginning. I was wrong to keep this from you. Forgive me. And whatever happens, Eva, don't stop. Don't let them win." The screen went black. Tears streamed down her face, but her heart was steady now. Jonathan hadn't just been killed for love or money. He'd been silenced for truth. And somewhere, the one who gave the order still walked free. Eva closed her laptop, her jaw clenched. Eva didn't sleep that night. The video replayed over and over in her mind like a prayer and a curse. Jonathan's voice echoed, urgent, desperate, warning her that the corruption ran deeper than she ever imagined. She sat at the kitchen table, eyes fixed on the flickering screen of her laptop, clutching the cross that once belonged to him. Detective Malcolm Rios was the only person she could trust now. But after the case was pulled from his hands, she felt abandoned. Still, she had no choice but to call him again. When he answered, the fatigue was clear in his voice. "Eva, you need to be careful. This isn't just about money or murder anymore. You're poking into something dangerous, something people would kill to keep buried." She swallowed hard. "I'm already in it, Malcolm. I can't turn back." He hesitated, then said, "I've been digging on my own. I found a name, Richard Connors. A powerful lobbyist with ties to the church, and worse, to some government officials. Jonathan was about to expose him. That's why the case went cold." Eva's breath caught. "Then Leah, she's just a pawn?" "Maybe. Or maybe she's playing both sides." With no time to lose, Eva decided to confront Leah directly at the church office the next day. When she arrived, the place felt colder than before, the walls whispering secrets. Leah greeted her with that same unnerving smile. "Eva, I thought you'd disappear." "I'm not done, Leah. You can't bury the truth forever." Leah's eyes flashed, but her voice stayed calm. "Jonathan made choices. Dangerous ones. If you keep digging, you'll find more than you can handle." Eva didn't flinch. "I'm not afraid of what I'll find." Leah leaned closer, lowering her voice. "You should be." Before Eva could reply, footsteps echoed down the hall. Detective Rios appeared, breathless. "Eva, you need to come with me. Now." They hurried out just as Leah's phone buzzed incessantly. Malcolm whispered, "They're on to us." Outside, the rain had started again, cold and relentless. Malcolm handed Eva a small flash drive. "Jonathan recorded more than that one video. This has everything, proof of embezzlement, names, dates, conversations. Enough to bring down Connors and his network." Eva's fingers trembled as she took it. "Why didn't Jonathan come to you sooner?" Malcolm's eyes darkened. He was scared. So were we all. Suddenly, headlights blazed toward them from the other end of the street. A black SUV screeched to a halt, blocking their path. Two men stepped out, faces grim. "Going somewhere?" one said coldly. Malcolm stepped protectively in front of Eva. "We're just leaving." The men advanced, voices low but threatening. Eva's heart pounded, adrenaline surging. She clutched the flash drive, knowing this was the moment everything would change. Then, without warning, a siren wailed in the distance. The men froze, glanced at each other, and vanished into the shadows. Eva exhaled shakily. "They're everywhere." Malcolm nodded grimly. "And they'll stop at nothing." Back at a safe house Malcolm arranged, Eva plugged the new flash drive into her laptop. Files flooded the screen, emails, videos, bank statements. all linking Connors, Leah, and several officials to a shadowy syndicate draining the church's funds to finance illegal lobbying and bribery. But then Eva found something else, a coded message hidden inside one video, Jonathan's last plea for help. It wasn't just about the church or Connors. It hinted at a secret operation codenamed Eden, involving surveillance and manipulation at the highest levels. Eva's blood ran cold. Jonathan hadn't just been fighting for justice. He was fighting against a system built on lies, and now that fight was hers. As dawn broke, she looked out the window, clutching her husband's cross. Justice had been delayed. But it wasn't defeated. The battle had only just begun. And somewhere in the dark, the real puppet master smiled, watching her every move. Eva felt the weight of every second pressing down as the sun rose, casting long shadows through the blinds. She sat motionless, the glow of the laptop screen the only light in the dim room. The coded message nodded her. Eden. What was it? Who was behind it? Jonathan's voice haunted her still, a whisper from beyond, urging her to keep going, but warning of danger far greater than she'd imagined. Detective Malcolm Rios paced the small room, the lines on his face deepening. Eva, this goes beyond church embezzlement or local corruption. Eden is a covert surveillance program. Jonathan stumbled on it by accident. It's tied to powerful people, politicians, law enforcement, even intelligence agencies. Eva swallowed hard. So, Leah wasn't the mastermind?
No.
She was just a piece in a much bigger game. The irony crushed her. She'd hated Leah for betraying Jonathan, but now it seemed Leah was as trapped as Jonathan had been. A puppet herself, pulled by invisible strings. Suddenly, Malcolm stopped and pointed to the screen. Look here, Jonathan recorded a meeting. It's dated 2 weeks before the accident. Eva clicked play. The video showed Jonathan sitting across from a suited man with cold eyes. The man's voice was calm but chilling as he said, "You have no idea what you're up against. Eden protects itself. Anyone who threatens it disappears quietly. Are you sure you want to continue?" Jonathan's hand trembled slightly as he answered, "Someone has to stop this, even if it costs me everything." Eva's chest tightened. That everything had come true. A loud knock shattered the fragile silence. Malcolm tensed. Eva's heart jumped. "Who is it?" Malcolm called. No answer. The knocking grew louder, more urgent. Malcolm moved to the door, peering through the peephole. "It's Leah." Eva froze. Why would she come here? Malcolm opened the door cautiously. Leah stepped inside, her face pale but resolute. "I'm not your enemy," she said quickly, avoiding Eva's gaze. "I have information. I want to help." Eva's hands clenched the cross around her neck. "Why should we trust you after everything?" Leah's eyes glistened with something raw, fear, regret, maybe even sorrow. "Because I want justice, too. The people behind Eden are ruthless. They've been manipulating all of us. Jonathan wanted to expose them, and now they're after me as well." Malcolm exchanged a glance with Eva. The stakes had escalated. The game had shifted. Leah pulled a small envelope from her coat pocket and handed it to Eva. "Jonathan gave this to me before he died. Said it was the key to taking down Eden." Eva opened it. Inside was a flash drive, labeled simply, "Truth." Her pulse quickened. Malcolm looked serious. "If this is what I think it is, this could blow the whole thing wide open." Before Eva could respond, the power in the room cut out, plunging them into darkness. Eva's breath hitched. She reached out instinctively for Malcolm and Leah. A chilling voice echoed from the hallway outside, distorted through a speaker. "Stop digging, Eva. Walk away now, or you'll disappear just like your husband." The threat hung in the air, heavy and deadly. Eva's grip on the cross tightened. Her faith was tested. Her resolve hardened. And the fight for truth was far from over. Eva's heartbeat thundered in the pitch-black room, the silence after the threat almost worse than the words themselves. Malcolm fumbled for his phone, its dim light revealing Leah's tense, pale face. "We can't stay here," Malcolm whispered. "They know where we are." Eva swallowed the knot of fear. Her husband's cross felt heavy against her chest, like a silent promise she was still holding on to. We have to get the truth to someone who can act on it. Someone outside this, whatever this is. Leah shook her head slowly. There's no one left outside. Eden's roots spread everywhere. Malcolm's jaw clenched. Then we have to go deeper. We expose Eden from the inside. Eva looked from Malcolm to Leah. For all Leah's betrayal, the desperation in her eyes was genuine. She was no longer an enemy, but a frightened ally, one who knew the stakes better than either of them. Suddenly, a faint noise, a metallic click, came from the far corner of the room. Eva's breath caught. They've found us. Malcolm moved swiftly, grabbing a small bag. We don't have time. Eva, Leah, get ready to move.
Now.
They slipped out the back, moving through dark alleys slick with rain. Every shadow seemed alive, every sound a threat. The city itself felt like it was closing in, suffocating them. Finally, they reached a rundown safe house Malcolm had arranged long ago, a place meant to disappear from maps and memories. Inside, Eva connected the truth flash drive to the laptop. Files flooded the screen, emails, recordings, dossiers. The full scale of Eden's corruption unfolded like a nightmare. Illegal surveillance, bribery, manipulation of elections, even orchestrated deaths disguised as accidents. Jonathan had been right. This was no accident. Eva's eyes burned with tears she refused to shed. This has to go public. The world needs to see this. Leah nodded but looked haunted. If this leaks, Eden will retaliate hard. They won't just kill us. They'll destroy anyone connected to us. Malcolm's voice was grim. Which is why we need to be smart. I know a journalist who can help, someone fearless, outside their reach. As they prepared to make contact, Eva's phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. Stop now, or your son will be next. Her heart froze. Malcolm's hand closed over hers. They're using her faith against you. Trying to break you. Eva swallowed her fear, lifting her chin. They underestimate me. A sudden noise, a shattering window, made them all jump. Shadows surged at the door. Eva's cross swung from her neck as she faced the dark with unyielding faith. The power had shifted again. And this time, it was a battle for her son's very life. Eva's breath caught as the broken glass glittered like shards of ice on the floor. Figures moved through the dark, masked, armed, merciless. Malcolm shoved her and Leah behind an overturned table, pulling his gun. Hold on, he barked, voice steady but tense. The intruders stormed in, and chaos erupted, shouts, gunfire, the clash of wills. Eva's heart pounded louder than the bullets flying past. Somehow, in the midst of the fury, she found herself clutching the cross, whispering a prayer not just for survival, but for justice. Then, a crackle on the police radio. Reinforcements. Sirens blared closer, and the masked attackers froze. They vanished into the shadows like ghosts, leaving behind only silence and shattered glass. Minutes later, flashing lights flooded the street outside. Officers swarmed the safe house. Malcolm handed over the truth files to the lead detective, his face grim but relieved. This will bring them down. All of them. Eva felt numb but resolute. The hidden syndicate known as Eden was exposed. The church embezzlement, the government bribery, the silenced whistleblowers, all finally unraveling under the weight of truth and faith. Later, in a quiet moment, Eva looked at a photo of Jonathan, the man who had died to reveal this darkness. Tears slid down her cheeks, but she smiled through the pain. Justice had not come quickly. It had not come easily, but it had come. Her son was safe. The threat was real, but her faith was stronger. Yet, as the dawn broke over the city, a new message appeared on her phone. No sender. No warning. Just a single line. You've won this battle, Eva. But Eden's game is far from over. Eva's fingers tightened around her husband's cross. She whispered, "Then I'll be ready." And somewhere in the shadows, a new player watched, smiling.